This is the AYJOIR 2026 Massage Chair Full Body. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I've noticed so far, because a massage chair is one of those things that sounds simple until you actually live with one day to day. I've been using it in my own routine, mostly in the evenings after sitting at a desk, and sometimes after a workout when my lower back and calves feel tight. What this chair is, in plain terms, is a full-body recliner that runs a set of back rollers along a long track, adds air pressure around your arms, shoulders, and legs, and then pairs that with heat in the lower back and lower body. It's for someone who actually wants the repeatability of a machine at home, something you can sit in for 10 to 20 minutes, get consistent pressure, and stand up feeling looser. If you're expecting it to replace a skilled massage therapist's hands, it doesn't. If you want something you can use regularly to take the edge off tight muscles, it can fit that role. The thing that makes it feel different from simpler chairs is how far the roller path goes. When I sit down and start a session, I can feel the rollers travel from the upper back down into the lower back, and then keep going under the seat area, which matters if you carry tension around the hips. A lot of chairs stop too early, and you end up with all the attention on your mid-back, while your lower body is basically just sitting there. Here, the massage line feels more continuous. Build-wise, it's a large chair, and it looks like one. The black PU leather is smooth and easy to wipe down, and that's honestly what I care about, because skin oils and lotion build up fast on anything you sit on regularly. The padding feels firm in the way most massage chairs are firm, because there's machinery under you. I don't feel sharp edges from the mechanism, but I do feel the structure, especially when the rollers are pushing harder. The arm areas are rounded, and they naturally catch my forearms, and the chair does a decent job of keeping me centered, so I'm not sliding around once it reclines. This is also heavy. I'm not casually moving it every day, but it has little rollers at the bottom, so when I do need to reposition it, I can tilt and scoot it across the floor without feeling like I'm going to throw my back out. The bigger reality is getting it into the house in the first place. Once it's where you want it, it's not hard to live with, but that initial move is something I had to plan for. Setup for me was basically unbox, plug in, and get it situated. There wasn't a long, frustrating assembly process. The part that took time was just clearing space, getting it through the doorway, and making sure it had room to recline without hitting a wall. Daily use is straightforward. I sit down, start a program, and it runs a body scan. That scan is one of those features that sounds like a buzzword until you notice what happens when it's not there. On this chair, it helps place the rollers so they start in the right area instead of digging into my shoulder blades too high or missing the neck area entirely. I still sometimes adjust my posture after the scan, like scooting my hips back or letting my shoulders settle, because your body position changes where pressure lands. Once I do that, it's more consistent. The zero-gravity recline is something I actually use, not just something I tried once. When it reclines and my legs are elevated, the roller pressure feels stronger without me increasing intensity, because my body weight presses into the backrest differently. It's also easier to relax your core in that position. I've noticed that if I'm already tense, staying upright makes me kind of brace against the rollers. Reclined, I stop fighting it. There are a few auto modes, and I've rotated through them depending on what I need. The one that feels the most physical to me is the stretch-focused routine. When the chair reclines and the lower section holds my legs in place, I get a gentle traction feeling through my hips and lower back. I wouldn't call it aggressive, but I do feel decompression, especially after a day of sitting. The more calming routines are what I use later at night, because the slower rhythm makes it easier to just zone out. Heat is another thing I end up turning on almost every time. I feel it mostly in the lower back area first, and it changes how the rollers feel. Without heat, the massage can feel more mechanical, like it's working on surface tension. With heat on, my muscles give in sooner, and the same roller pressure feels less sharp. The leg heat is noticeable too, especially if my feet are cold. It's not the kind of heat that makes you sweat, at least in my room, but it's enough to feel like it's doing something. The airbags are where the chair starts feeling more like full body. I notice them most on my forearms and calves. On lighter settings, it's a gentle squeeze that comes and goes, and it mainly helps me feel supported in the chair. On stronger settings, it's more of a firm compression. I don't use the strongest level every day, because after a workout, my calves can be sensitive, and too much squeeze feels like it's pinching instead of helping. When I'm tired and just want circulation and warmth, the middle setting is what I end up choosing. Foot rollers are intense for me. The first time I used them, it was a lot. especially on the arches. Now I usually wear socks if I want that part on, or I just shorten the session. When my feet are already sore, I sometimes turn that function down or off and let the calf airbags and heat do the work instead. On days when I've been walking a lot though, the foot rollers are the part I notice the next morning, in a good way, because my feet feel less stiff getting out of bed. The footrest is retractable, which I needed because I'm not particularly tall, and I like being able to set it where my ankles aren't overextended. It adjusts by pushing with your feet, which is convenient, but there's a small trade-off. I can feel that it wants to return inward a bit, so I keep light pressure with my legs to hold my ideal position. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something I notice during longer sessions. In real-world testing, my main use cases have been desk tension and post-workout recovery. For desk tension, the chair helps most in the upper back and lower back, and I use heat and a gentler roller intensity because I'm not trying to feel sore afterward. For workouts, I increase intensity a bit and lean on the calves and foot area, but I'm careful not to overdo it. If I run it too strong for too long, I feel tender the next day, which tells me it's possible to go past helpful into too much, like you can with a deep tissue massage. Noise-wise, it's not silent. I hear the rollers moving, the air pump cycling, and some light mechanical sounds when it shifts recline positions. In my experience, it's easy to ignore if I'm playing music, and that's where Bluetooth speakers are actually useful. I paired my phone quickly, and I usually put on something low-key. It's not audiophile sound, but it's clear enough for podcasts or calm music, and it helps cover the chair's operating noises. There's also app control, and I've used it mainly because it's faster than hunting for a remote when the room lights are low. Being able to change a mode or adjust intensity without twisting my arm around is practical. I still think physical buttons matter because phones die and apps can be glitchy, but for small adjustments mid-session, the app is convenient. A couple limitations are worth saying out loud. This chair has a lower maximum user weight than a lot of people expect from something this size, so it's not something I'd put in a shared family room and assume every guest can use safely. It also fits up to a certain height comfortably. If you're tall, the roller path can land lower than you want on your neck and shoulders, and your head position can feel a bit off. I'm within the range where it works, but it's something I'd think about if you're at the taller end. I also wish the remote were easier to use in the dark. When I'm winding down at night, I don't want bright lights on, and it's easy to hit the wrong button if you can't see the labels. The chair's blue side lighting looks nice, and it helps set a calm vibe, but it doesn't solve the remote problem. Overall, living with it has been about consistency. I don't use it because it's fun. I use it because when my lower back is tight or my calves feel heavy, I know I can sit here, run a routine, add heat, and get a predictable result. The best sessions for me are the ones where I keep intensity reasonable, let the body scan do its thing, recline into zero gravity, and then stand up slowly and drink some water. That's when I notice I move easier afterward, and I'm less likely to feel stiff later that night. I will share detailed information about the AYJOIR 2026 massage chair full body in the comments section, everyone. Thank you for watching.